US President Donald Trump took aim at Europe during a speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Trump said that the continent is not heading in the right direction. He criticized Europe's political and economic trajectory, warning that current policies are hurting growth and security, even as he stressed on the importance of transatlantic ties. He also revisited his controversial comments on Greenland, saying that the United States saved Greenland and again framed the Arctic territory as strategically vital to American security interests. He also justified his action in Venezuela by saying that he helped the South American nation.
Greenland is a vast, almost entirely uninhabited and undeveloped territory, sitting undefended in a key strategic location between the United States, Russia, and China. That's exactly where it is, right smack in the middle. That's not the reason we need it. We need it for strategic national security and international security. This enormous unsecured island is actually part of North America. In Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable. And we can argue about it, but there's no argument. Friends come back from different places. I don't want to insult anybody and say I don't recognize it. And that's not in a positive way. That's in a very negative way. And I love Europe, and I want to see Europe go good, but it's not heading in the right direction. Venezuela has been an amazing place for so many years, but then they went bad with their policies. 20 years ago, it was a great country, and now it's got problems, but we're helping them. And those 50 million barrels, we're going to be splitting up with them, and they'll be making more money than they've made in a long time. Venezuela is going to do fantastically well.
WION's correspondent at Davos, Siddhant Sibal, is joining us live on the broadcast at the moment. Siddhant, more than 1 hour of Donald Trump's address, the entire world had its eyes on what the US president will say. And my God, what a speech. He's doubled down on his desire to acquire Greenland, and he's also threatened NATO and Europe. He went from I love Europe to NATO is a loser and United States got nothing from NATO.
Well, it was clearly the big piece of ice that was the big story from his speech. In fact, yes, the entire world was glued to television when the US president was making his speech. But here in Davos, everyone went into huddle. All the meetings pre-scheduled, scheduled, all were cancelled, postponed, preponed. That is the plan that was being done because it was the big man who was speaking. And on expected lines, he upped his rhetoric on Greenland, something that was essentially not new. But for European leaders present here, it was a cause of anxiety. In fact, he mentioned about how he is the peacemaker. He naturally, it was expected, mentioned about India, Pakistan in his speech as well. Even though India has rejected Donald Trump's claim, he, of course, made a lot of statements, even saying that US gave back Greenland to Denmark after World War II, something that is being fact-checked by everyone right now on social media. This is a speech that can go for a lot of fact-check, but the reality is whatever he says, he usually implements, and this is something that European leaders are worried about. European leaders have been showing a brave face, but for them to stand up to Donald Trump means a pending order that has been created after World War II, that has been decades in making, but it will take decades to essentially go back foot on it.
Absolutely, Siddhanta. This is the kind of order that Donald Trump has been trying to disrupt when he says that we have to, get more from NATO and from the European Union because they have used United States over the past several years. And like you were talking about fact-checking the US president's speech, one of the things that he mentioned was that he's going to be meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. As of now, Ukrainian officials say that Zelensky is not present at Davos and he's at Kiev. But if that does happen in the next few days, can we see some sort of a peace announcement, some sort of a deal being reached?
Well, I do not know how it will happen because Donald Trump leaves tomorrow by midday here, almost 12 hours, just over 12 hours he'll be staying here. For the Ukrainian president to come here, there are protocols, procedures. He can, of course, break the protocols, but there are questions if the Ukrainian president is keen to meet him, because obviously he'll make an occasion out of it. And when it comes to fact-checking, many times he even confused Iceland and Greenland. This is something that Icelanders must be closely watching. But tomorrow will be a big day in terms of not only his bilateral meetings, some of which he has been claiming, but signing of the Gaza Board of Peace Charter. Many countries have affirmed that they will be present. Pakistan has confirmed short while ago. India has been mum on it, but tomorrow will be a big day on that aspect.
Absolutely. Siddhant, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Let's wait and watch what happens tomorrow. As far as today is concerned, Donald Trump had the entire world glued to the television. Thanks very much, Siddhant, for joining us at the moment.